Hi students, welcome back. This is lecture 4 in our video lecture series. I have 10 words for you. Let's get started. Out of all the words today, this first one I probably use the most. It's part of my everyday vocabulary. It's a verb. Please repeat after me. Implore. Implore. It means to beg. Beg someone strongly to do something or not do something. I have a picture, and I don't know why, but this guy, he always looks like he's praying to me, but maybe he's begging his girlfriend for forgiveness. I have on your handout the first example there. He implored her to change her mind. What does that mean? He implored her to change her mind. He begged her. That's all it is. Let's see here. Trying to think of another example. Really, the only thing I want to say in Korean, it's Awan Hara. It means to beg someone to do something or not do something. I don't have an example on your paper, but for example, she implored her husband not to drink alcohol. And that's just a simple example. So she begged her husband not to continue this destructive behavior. Students, I implore you, I beg you, I beseech you, I implore you, please, please, don't wait until the last minute to start preparing for your midterm exams. This next one is a good one. I want you to find it on the test. Another verb, unravel. Please say it with me. Unravel. To find the correct explanation for something that is difficult to understand. Find the correct explanation for something that's difficult to understand. And guys, I don't know if it'll focus. I underlined a few key words here. Investigate and solve or explain something complicated or puzzling. Simple example, we have a long way to go, so it's going to take a long time before we unravel the secrets of genetics. Oh, guys, I always do this, but do you remember implore? What is implore? Beg. I totally forgot. Here's just a young child begging maybe her parents for a toy or wanting to go to some place. Even animals do it. Here maybe a dog is begging for attention. I like Goyangi. I just want to pet him. Anyway, unravel, guys, means to clarify, get to the bottom of. You guys know I like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, the most famous detective in British literature, could always be counted upon to unravel any mystery with his friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. In Korean, 풀다 or 해명하라. Students, unravel. Find it on the midterm. Okay, moving on, guys. Next one is a noun, respite. Not a hard word, but a little tricky to explain because there's a lot of different ways it can be used. I underlined it on your handout as simply temporary relief. A short period of rest from having to deal with something difficult or unpleasant. For example, summer vacation. Summer vacation brings a much needed respite for both teachers and students. So here's a photograph of children climbing a tree. When you were younger, did you ever climb a tree? No? Well, guys, that is your homework. Climb a tree. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but Look at the second example. A thunderstorm cooled the air and brought a respite from the heat. So a thunderstorm cooled the air and brought a respite from the heat. Let's see here. Guys, do you know humidity? I think in Korean it's supgi. So if it's very hot and humid, and some storm clouds come in, the wind brings some relief to the hot and humid weather. That's a respite. It can be used in many different ways. What is it in Korean? Oh gosh. 일시정지? So that's respite. A temporary relief from something difficult or something unpleasant. Okay, moving on. Next one, adjective, invulnerable. Let's see here. Not able to be wounded. In other words, not able to be hurt. I don't really like this example, but Superman is invulnerable. But students, look at the second translation. Shielded from attack. Impregnable is a synonym. So in the Middle Ages, medieval lords did everything possible to make their castles invulnerable fortresses. I had to look this word up. Yosei? Take a look. Whoa. I think I may have shown you this before. This is a castle in England. There's only one way in, a drawbridge, and it's surrounded by a lake. It's called a moat. This castle is said to be invulnerable. This is a photograph from the sky. Take a look at this. Pretty difficult to attack. And even if you did make it to the gate, still impregnable, invulnerable. Guys, look at the second example. A strong navy made Great Britain invulnerable. Just like the castle, the island of Britain is surrounded by water, and it makes it very difficult to invade. Okay, that's invulnerable. Not able to be wounded, but pay closer attention to the second definition. Shielded from attack, impregnable. Okay, moving on. Next one, easy, but probably don't hear it very often. It's a verb, rue. Just like kangaroo, that's the correct pronunciation. Rue, kangaroo. Rue simply means to regret. What do I have on your handout? To regret or be sorry for something. It is only natural to rue mistakes and missed opportunities. In Korean, huehara. What does that mean? It is only natural to rue mistakes. It's only natural to regret things, all sorts of things we've done in our life. We would like to go back in time and do it a little differently. It is only natural to rue mistakes and missed opportunities. Missed opportunities? What do I rue? Well, I had a friend in America. His name was Andrew Latonich, and he died when he was 25. He and I were good friends, and I really enjoyed his company. He was kind and funny, and anyway, he was in an accident and he passed away, and I regret not telling him how much I enjoyed his company, how much I cared for him. Another example, just very quickly, guys. When I was in college, I had an opportunity to study abroad. I could have studied maybe in Germany for 1 semester, but I was so busy with preparing for exams and typing reports. I just, I did not take action. So I kind of rue not studying abroad. Anyway, that's rue. Again, no one lives a perfect life, and I'm sure you can think of examples that we regret. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. Oh, right. I always do this, guys. This is a photo of what rue looks like. Oh no, regret. Okay, moving on. What do we have? This next one, I think you know it. It's an adjective. Dormant. Will you please say it with me? Dormant. It means inactive or sleeping, in a state of suspension. Whenever I think of the word dormant, I always think about a volcano. A few years ago, they made a Hollywood film called Pompeii. I'm sure you know the story of Pompeii, the volcano in Italy, which had been dormant until it violently erupted 2,000 years ago. This is a photograph of the ruins of Pompeii. Some of you may have been there. I've never been to Italy, but it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The city was destroyed and thousands died. Here's another photograph of Pompeii. Here are the ruins, and in the background you can see the volcano Vesuvius. And you can see people have rebuilt, homes and businesses. I would be scared to live there. And guys, I brought a bottle of Samdasu. I'm assuming this is Halasan. And is Halasan dormant? I'm embarrassed to tell you, I honestly don't know. And furthermore, I've never been to Jeju-do, but as soon as my ankle gets better, I would like to go to Sangsang Ilchubang. Have you been there? I'm guessing most of you, if not all of you, have been there. If you don't mind, guys, my throat is a little dry. I would like some volcano water. Okay, guys, probably like you, whenever you hear the word dormant, you think about a volcano, but just know that it can be something else. For example, plants, flowers, trees, they go into a state of dormancy during the winter months. All right, moving on, guys. That's dormant. Next one, okay. I mentioned at the very beginning, implore, meaning to beg. This is a word that I use a lot. So too, this next one, I use it a lot. It's part of my everyday vocabulary. It's a verb. Please say it with me. Acclimate. Acclimate. Please say it with me. Acclimate. Acclimating. Acclimated. Very simply, guys, acclimate just means to get used to something. What do I have here? To adapt or get used to. adapt to a new climate, so the weather, environment, or some new situation. Okay. Let's see here. Well, I have a couple of examples. Look at the second one on your handout, right there. So, this is just one example. Whenever you go up into the mountains, it's necessary to do it in stages to allow your body, and in particular your lungs, to acclimate to the high elevation, the Himalayas. Let's see here. Oh, look at the third example, guys. I'm just making this up. After landing in Athens, so Greece, after landing in Athens, the students were given a few days to acclimate to the time change, the time difference, the climate, so hot or cold, and the new culture. Interesting. Students, every time I visit my mom and dad in Migook, I'm always jet lagged, and it takes me about a week to acclimate to the time change. In Korean, how do you say this? Shichalo gukbakhara, get over jet lag. What's another example? Well, this is not on your handout. I'm just making this up, guys. I'm from Florida, which is a hot, humid southern state. If I were to move to a northern state, I guess it would take me several years to acclimate to the long winters. Iheheseo just means adapt or get used to some new situation. I'll give you another example, guys. When I first came to your country in 2007, I had to acclimate to a new diet. Sundubu jjigae. Oh yes, deadly. I love sundubu jjigae. But guys, when I eat sundubu jjigae, it is like a volcano in my stomach, and it's not dormant. Anyway, it took time to acclimate to Korean diet. Now, many years later, of course, I'm okay, but it takes time. Okay, so I'm thinking if I should give one more example. Okay, just very quickly. Many years ago, I went to Indo, and I had a great experience, but I felt culture shock. I saw a lot of poverty, and anyway, I was there for, I guess, about 2 weeks, and it wasn't until the very end of my trip that I began to acclimate to the chaos. Just, the traffic jams, everything. It was a kind of a stressful environment, especially the first few days. But as time went by, I began to acclimate. Iheheseo, find it on the test. Okay, so that's acclimate. And I've highlighted it on your handout there. What's next? Okay, this is a good one. I honestly, students, I don't use this word very often, but I hear it often. Maybe it's British. It's a noun. Please repeat after me. Fortnight. Again, fortnight. Guys, very simply, a fortnight is 2 weeks, or literally 14 nights. Got it? So my aunt and uncle, this comes from your handout, my relatives stayed with us for a fortnight. So my aunt and uncle stayed at our house for 2 weeks. Our first quiz is in a fortnight. Not really, just as an example. Our first quiz is in a fortnight. What does that mean? Our first quiz is in 2 weeks. Look at the third example. Where am I? We spent a fortnight in Rome. We spent 2 weeks in Rome. That's all it is. All right, next, it's a verb. Replicate. Please say it with me, replicate. Means reproduce, make an exact copy of, to make or do something again in exactly the same way. Look at the first example. Researchers tried many times to replicate the original experiment. So for example, if there's a scientific discovery in Korea, researchers in England and Canada will try to replicate the results. 이해했어요? So they'll try to reproduce the same results. Okay, another example. Oh no, guys, my papers are flying away. Oh, come back. Got it. Okay, where was I? Replicate? Take a look at this, guys. Chromosomes, like our DNA. Chromosomes replicate before cells divide and multiply. Whoa. In Korean, replicate, bakje hara. Students, replicate, reproduce, find it on the test. Duplicate, clone, bakje hara. Okay, so we're making good progress. Okay, is this the last one? Wow. Okay, it's a verb. Please repeat after me. Unearthed. Just like our planet, Earth, unearthed. On your handout, I have it in past tense because I typically hear it in past tense. So please say it with me. Unearthed. Unearthed. In my own mind, guys, it just means to find something. Find something that was hidden or lost. So look at your definition. It's kind of a, textbook definition. To find something that was literally buried in the earth. Okay, that's the first definition. To find something, to pull something out of the ground, unearthed. To find something that was buried in the earth. Look at the second definition. This is typically how I hear it. To find something that was hidden or lost. Look at the first example. I keep using Pompeii as an example. Archaeologists, like Indiana Jones, archaeologists unearthed the ancient ruins of Pompeii in the mid-1700s, of the 18th century. Let's see here. Take a look at this. King Tut, his sarcophagus was unearthed. Now in this case, literally, it was dug out of the ground. Look at the second example. So between the 1800s and the early 1900s, there were multiple endeavors, so multiple attempts. Many people tried to unearth the Sphinx. However, so here's the Sphinx a long time ago, and you can see the sand is kind of high up. It was very costly, and it wasn't until 1936 that the Sphinx was completely uncovered or completely unearthed and seen in its full glory. So here you can see down here they're beginning to unearth the Sphinx. Daebak. And here is a modern day picture of the Sphinx, completely unearthed. All right, guys, I remember the first, straighten my microphone, the first definition, to find something that was buried in the earth. But typically, for me, I hear the second definition more often, used in that context, to find something that was hidden or lost. All right, guys, so last night, this is a true story, I unearthed an old photograph of my father. I would like to share it with you, if I may. Okay, so I wasn't going to show you this photo, but this is a photograph of my father in Athens. It was taken a very long time ago, and he's sitting in front of the Parthenon in Athens. But that's not what I wanted to show you. Take a look at this. This photograph, I don't know when it was taken, maybe 1970. So this is a photograph of my dad, and there is the Sphinx and the pyramids of Giza. Students, do you remember how I told you I wanted to emulate my father? Do you remember the word emulate? It means to be like someone whom you admire. I think it came from lecture 2. This is a photograph of your professor in Egypt. I went there 10 years ago. Because I want to emulate my father. I went to Cairo. Anyway, that's that. Unearthed. Oh no. Just a moment, guys. I'm back. Students, this lecture is being recorded in Seoul Forest, and every hour, at the top of the hour, there's an announcement on the speakers reminding visitors to wear their mask and be careful. And it's kind of loud, and it's hard to talk over that announcement. So I just hit pause on the video for 2 seconds. Guys, let's see here. There is a crazy word on your handout. Do you see that? How do you pronounce that? How many letters is it? Innumerable. The word is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Don't worry, this is not on the test. I repeat, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is not on the test. It's a made-up word, and I included it just for fun. It's from an old Disney movie called Mary Poppins, and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, it means wonderful, fantastic, debak. So guys, I hope the week ahead is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.